Hello everyone and welcome to this video tour of a Cloudlines package which is in use by a Breed Society. We have the kind permission of the Old English Goat Society in order to show you this today, and as we move through this tour you'll notice that some areas of the screen are pixelated just to protect their information. So as you may already know, when you log into Cloudlines the first thing you're presented with is a dashboard. From this dashboard we can see a number of things. Total number of goats in this package, 752. We have a card over on the right hand side which tells us the latest pedigrees added with their reg number. We have a card about the latest breeders and owners added, though obviously we've pixelated that. And then we have a number of graphs that you can choose from to display the information in your database in different ways. And you can change or remove the graphs using these drop downs. You can also add a new pedigree from this page, or you can add a new breeder or owner. If I move through and click on the goats page, this is where you'll spend most of your time if you're working with this data. As you can see, this is the list of all the animals that is in this database. We can search for an animal by its name. There we go, this is Whernside Vera, one of the goats. Obviously we can see their reg number there, the date of birth, status, and a bunch of other information, including their coefficient of inbreeding. All of these columns that you see here are customizable in the site settings, so up to a maximum of 8 columns you can play around with which ones you want to see. Once you've searched for an animal, you can click the View button here to be taken to that animal's profile. Every animal in the system has a profile like this, currently sitting at 4 pages. The profile is very profile tab is very basic. It just has a picture and selected bits of information. Over on the right hand side you'll see the details card that lists the breeder, the owner, and a bunch of information about that animal, including in this case their mean kinship value. If we click on images, you can see this is the image gallery. It's also where you drag and drop files to be added to this profile. Click on the Offspring tab. Some of these don't look so pretty because they don't have photos with them, but I see these are all the offspring that are registered in the system for Whernside Vera, and if you hover over any of them and then click, you will be taken to the profile for that animal. If we click on the Certificate tab, you'll see that we have the pedigree tree for this animal, and this is an interactive tree, so we can hover over any of these animals and we'll see a little card with their information on, and we can click the profile button here to be taken to that animal's profile. So let's do that. Here we go, here's Whernside Sophie. Exactly the same setup, so some images, a list of offspring, and her pedigree certificate. What you will notice down the bottom here, there is a certificate PDF and a Zootech PDF button. Zootech PDF has to be customized, so please reach out to us if you require a Zootech PDF. The certificate PDF is customized by yourselves with a title and a logo at the point that you set up the package. But if you click this button, it will download a PDF which you can then print out or send on to your society members. So the next thing to show you is the list of breeders. So that is up here in breeders. Okay, so here you can see a list of breeders. Lots of this information we've blurred out, so apologies for that. But as you can see, you have names, breeding prefixes, some contact details, and their status, whether they are active or not. If we look at one of the breeders in particular, so I'll show you this one for obvious reasons, you can see you have a list of the pedigrees currently owned by that breeder, which again is searchable and sortable in the same way that the main pedigree search is. And then further down you've got pedigrees bred by that breeder, and again searchable and sortable. So using this view we can see which animals are owned by each breeder in a fairly quick and easy way. Probably the most exciting area, if you're using these tools, is the metrics page. And if we click on that, we can see it starts with a kinship checker, which is just a basic coefficient of inbreeding calculator for some offspring that doesn't exist yet. So we could start by typing in an animal's name, or you can use reg number or tag number. There we go, we're inside Vera, who we were looking at before, and let's try and find a male who is living. There we go. And we can click calculate kinship, and what that will do is send a job to our queue. So there we go, your results have been added to the queue. Here is the result here, here's the job. It's done more or less instantly on this very small data set. But if we scroll down to the results table, we can click view on this job, and you can see the kinship result of this match will be 5.6%. So going back to the metrics page, the other tool that we have here is Stud Advisor. So Stud Advisor is quite complicated. Please do reach out to us for a chat about how this works. But ultimately, it uses a combination of mean kinship and coefficient of inbreeding to try and preserve the genetic diversity within a closed breed. And to do that, we're going to type in the name or registration number or tag number of a female in the herd book, and we're going to click Run Advisor. A very similar message, results are added to the queue below. As we can see, that job's been added to the queue, and that job is taking a little longer because it is a very big calculation. If you've got a huge data set, so tens of thousands of records, this could take up to about 20 minutes to run for each animal, but typically in smaller data sets it'll be under a minute. Whilst that's processing, I'll just talk to you about the other features here. So we have a check my data function, which just looks for errors in the data that might impact any of these calculations. And we also have run COI and run mean kinship. These buttons to be used when you add animals to the database, and it recalculates COI and mean kinship, ready for the next bunch of reports. We also have a PopRep export button up here, which exports all of the data in the system in a format which the PopRep tool can accept. More news on PopRep expected later. So what I'm going to do is just refresh this page now, and there we go. We can see all that's happened is the cog timer is just not updated because it took longer than 30 seconds. So just refresh the page and we can see it is now a tick. So if I click on view, we can now view the Stud Advisor report for this goat. This is her details over here. These are some details about the breed themselves. And down here you will see there are red, amber and green matches indicating the good, not quite so good and potentially bad breeding matches that are available out of the living males within the society. And again, this is interactive, so Jingle Joy's Pagan here, who is a green match, we can click view and we can see this animal is profile. We can see the image gallery, see any offspring that they already have, and we can see their pedigree certificate. There we go, that is the basics of the package. There's a lot more detail in there for anybody who would like to know about it, so please reach out to us if that's something you're interested in. Thank you.